Brace yourself. GH's most explosive spoilers, heartbreaking drama, and shocking twists are here. When Nina stepped into that old warehouse and found Brennan chained up, gasping for air in that thick, toxic fog, I nearly dropped my tea. The scene was pure, classic soap opera tension. The kind that keeps loyal fans like me coming back day after day. There he was, this man who has always danced on the edge of danger, now fighting for every breath, while a leaking gas tank sat right beside him, hissing like a snake ready to strike. One tiny spark, and everything could have gone up in flames, taking Nina right along with him. I have always admired Nina's strength, even when her choices left me shaking my head. She has survived so much heartbreak and betrayal over the years, building herself up from nothing, and now here she stands again at a terrible crossroads. Brennan, in his desperate state, grabbed her hand and begged her not to call the police. He warned her that the WSB would silence both of them if the truth came out. That moment felt so real to me. I could feel Nina's panic because I have watched her carry heavy secrets before. Saving him means inviting someone who knows too many of her dark chapters into her life again, but walking away would leave her conscience scarred forever. I kept asking myself, what would I do in her place? Would I risk everything for a man who might destroy me later, or protect myself at the cost of another life? The writers handled her hesitation perfectly, letting the seconds stretch out as the gas kept leaking louder and louder. It was edge-of-your-seat drama that reminded me why I fell in love with this show decades ago. What makes this storyline so compelling is how it ties back to Nina's deepest fears. Brennan started revealing pieces of the truth right there in that warehouse. Truths that connect directly to the dangers Cullum has been stirring up around her. I have been thinking a lot about this, and I believe the writers are showing us something different from the usual General Hospital patterns. In the past, Nina's troubles often came from romantic entanglements or family secrets. But this feels more layered, more explosive. Brennan's information is not just about old grudges. It points straight to Cullum's schemes, proving that a new eruption of conflict is building right under our noses. I love how the show is adjusting the narrative this way. It gives longtime viewers like me fresh reasons to stay invested, instead of feeling like we have seen it all before. My personal take is that Nina will ultimately choose to save Brennan, even if it costs her dearly. She has that big heart beneath all the armor she wears, and her hesitation already showed us her internal battle. But saving him will open a floodgate of revelations that could change everything in Port Charles. Will those secrets about her past finally come to light in a way that forces her to confront who she really is? I think yes, and I cannot wait to see how it plays out. The danger from Cullum feels immediate and personal, almost like a shadow that has been following her for longer than we realized. This new direction proves the writers are listening to fans who want more than simple romance. They are giving us moral dilemmas wrapped in life and death suspense, and it feels refreshing. I have to say, watching Nina stand there frozen while Brennan fought for air brought back memories of other powerful warehouse scenes from the show's history. Remember how those old sets used to amplify every emotion? The dim lighting, the dripping pipes, the constant threat of explosion, it all worked together to make me feel the urgency right along with her. Brennan's ragged breathing and his plea for help without involving the authorities added such raw humanity to the moment. He is not just some spy figure anymore. In that scene, he became a man stripped of power, relying on the mercy of someone he once might have manipulated. That shift in power dynamics is what makes great soap opera, and the writers nailed it here. One thing I particularly enjoy about this plot is how it raises so many questions and then gives us hints that answers are coming soon. Will Nina find a way to free Brennan without triggering the gas tank? How much does he truly know about her connection to Cullum's threats? And, most importantly, can she trust him once he is free? I believe the answers will arrive faster than we expect, keeping the momentum high for the upcoming episodes. The show has been building this tension beautifully, and I feel the heat of what is coming next. Port Charles is never quiet for long, but this particular storm feels like it could reshape relationships we thought were stable. As someone who has followed every twist and turn since the ADS, I appreciate when the story honors the characters' histories while still surprising us. Nina's dilemma feels authentic to who she has become. She is no longer the impulsive woman from earlier years. She weighs consequences now, and that growth makes her hesitation in the warehouse all the more powerful. My view is that this choice will mark a turning point for her, perhaps leading to stronger alliances or even harder betrayals. Either way, it keeps me glued to the screen. I have told my friends who watch with me that this is the kind of storytelling that reminds us why General Hospital remains the gold standard after all these decades. The connection between Brennan's revelations and Cullum's growing danger adds such depth. It is not just one isolated crisis. It is a web of secrets that has been tightening slowly, and now it is ready to snap. I find myself wondering how many other characters will get pulled into this mess. Will Sunny sense something is wrong and step in? Or will Nina try to handle it alone, the way she often does? The writers seem to be setting up a larger explosion of truth that could affect many lives in town. And that kind of interconnected drama is what I live for as a devoted viewer. Let me share something from my heart. Scenes like this one with Nina and Brennan restore my faith that the show still cares about emotional stakes. It is not just about action or quick shocks. It is about watching beloved characters face impossible choices and grow through them. Nina's fear in that warehouse was so palpable, and Brennan's desperation felt earned after all the layers they have built for him. I am excited to see how this plays out because I know the payoff will be worth every tense minute. The gas hissing louder, the air growing thicker, her hand in his, it all created such an unforgettable picture. I have no doubt that loyal fans over 60 like myself will be talking about this storyline for weeks. It sparks discussions about loyalty, forgiveness, and the cost of secrets. Topics that feel meaningful at our age. My personal opinion is that Nina should listen to Brennan's warnings about the WSB, but she must also protect herself from becoming entangled in his world again. Balancing those two things will be her greatest challenge yet, and I am here for every moment of it. The new adjustments to the plot, tying Brennan's truths directly to Cullum's threats, show smart writing that respects the audience's intelligence. It proves a major new explosion of drama is on the horizon. One that will keep us guessing and hoping right alongside Nina. As the gas continued to leak and time ran short, I found myself cheering for Nina to make the brave choice. She has come so far, and this could be her moment to show true courage. Whatever happens next, I know General Hospital will deliver the kind of heartfelt, suspenseful television that has kept me company through all the ups and downs of life. These characters feel like old friends, and watching their stories unfold continues to bring me joy. I cannot wait to see how Nina resolves this crisis and what new revelations come spilling out because of it. The heat is on in Port Charles, and I am loving every second. What adds even more layers to this story is the new obsession that seems to be haunting Brennan now. After his ordeal, he appears truly changed, carrying a deep fixation on making things right or perhaps settling old scores that have been eating away at him. I have seen characters in General Hospital go through similar transformations before, but this one feels fresh and more intense. Brennan is not just recovering physically. He is wrestling with inner demons that make him both vulnerable and unpredictable. As a longtime viewer, I find this fascinating because it opens the door for real emotional growth between him and Nina. Will this obsession drive him to help her, or will it create new complications? I think it will do both, keeping us on our toes. The most exciting part for me is how Nina plans to use Brennan to save Willow and untangle the troubles that have been weighing on her family. Willow has been through so much already, and Nina's love for her daughter runs deeper than almost anything else in her life. By turning to Brennan for information or assistance, Nina is taking a calculated risk that could either heal old family wounds or blow them wide open. I love this direction because it brings the focus back to what matters most in General Hospital: family bonds tested by crisis. Nina using Brennan's knowledge to protect Willow feels like a mother's desperate but determined move. It proves that a new disaster is brewing, one that could shake the foundations of several relationships in Port Charles. The writers are building towards something big, and I can feel the tension rising with every episode. In my opinion, this alliance between Nina and Brennan, born in that warehouse, will lead to some of the most heartfelt and dramatic moments we have seen lately. She will nurse him back to strength in secret, all while he shares pieces of the puzzle involving Cullum's threats. Together, they might find a way to shield Willow from the coming storm, but I suspect the cost will be high. Secrets have a way of surfacing at the worst times on this show, and I cannot wait to see how it unfolds. Will Willow understand her mother's choices, or will this create fresh heartbreak? I believe the story will handle it with the sensitivity it deserves, giving us reasons to root for Nina, even when her methods are questionable. This new chapter feels like classic General Hospital at its best. Danger mixed with hope, personal obsessions colliding with family loyalty, and the constant threat of disaster just around the corner. As someone who has watched for decades, I appreciate how these elements keep the show vibrant and emotionally rich. Nina's secret efforts to heal Brennan without hospital records add such a layer of forbidden closeness that it practically sizzles on screen. Their growing connection, fueled by his haunting new obsession, will give her the tools she needs to fight for Willow. Yet it also sets the stage for a major new catastrophe that could change lives forever.